Hi everyone, and welcome to our Camus Lions Mental Health Awareness Series. Today I have the absolute honor of sitting down with Tammie, a woman who lives boldly, loves deeply, and laughs louder than most, all while navigating life with bipolar disorder. Hey Tammie, thank you so much for being here today. Since I've known you, you've been an extremely open person. Let's start at the beginning of your story and tell us how this came about. So basically, when your journey with bipolar disorder began. Bring us up to speed.
I was 38 years old and we lived in the Napa Valley, and Christopher just started kindergarten. And it started out with really horrific depression for 3 months, and then it switched immediately into mania with pressured speech.
Wow, that sounds incredibly difficult. What was it like for your family?
It was very hard and crushing. It crushed my husband because here we'd moved back to this beautiful valley that we loved so much. We enjoyed the restaurants and the vineyards and just the beauty of the whole place. And then, boom, I'm in bed for 3 months with the severe depression, and then it switched immediately into mania, which was frightening.
So you're talking about this full-blown mania hitting you all at once. Even myself or most people probably have a hard time understanding what that is. Can you give us a story that might exemplify what this was like?
One of the funniest times was when I woke up early in the morning and I went outside, and it woke up my husband, and he comes out and says, "What are you doing?" I said, "What does it look like I'm doing? I'm watering the plants. Those are dead. These are dying over here. They're all dead." "What do you mean, what am I doing?" He said, leaned over and whispered in my ear, "It's 4 o'clock in the morning and you're in Yountville outside in your pajamas watering the plants." I said, "Oh," and I went back to bed.
That is such an incredible and powerful story, Tammie. But I gotta tell you, I'm kind of curious. Was that your only sleepwalking incident?
No, sleep medicine made me walk in the middle of the street on Highway 101 in North Bend, Oregon, and I was picked up by the police, taken to the hospital, given a shot while I was screaming, "Don't give me that freaking shot, I'll sue you." And they said, "Go ahead and sue us," and gave me the shot anyway and knocked me out completely.
Now that's actually a funny story. Was this the only run-in you had with the police?
No, once I delivered a singogram to the police station. I went there with a huge bouquet of balloons and a guitar and a hard hat. And I started playing the guitar, which I don't know how to play, but I just strummed it and I started singing, "You may be right, I may be crazy, but it just might be a lunatic you're looking for. Turn out the lights." And then I switched it to, "I shot the sheriff, but I did not shoot the deputy." And they took me and they said, "Can you come inside?" And I thought, uh-oh. And so they take me inside and they just wanted me to sing the whole song to the dispatcher, and that's what I did.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. You have such a gift for storytelling and honesty. How did you eventually find stability in all this?
Well, it was a long, long road. It took, it's taken 25 years actually, but at the 12-year point, I was pretty stable. It took medication, trial and error, and just soul searching.
Again, hard to even comprehend, but yet you've still built an incredibly beautiful life. What do you want people to understand about mental illness?
That it can happen to any of us. It's not based on race, class, or any of that stuff. It can just come out of the blue. It can be a hormonal reaction from giving childbirth and just an array of things.
So yeah, that is something for everybody to think about, but it also makes me wonder, what is real mania actually like for you?
When manic, I don't sleep. I fall in love at the drop of a hat. And my sister says, yeah, you'll be in love for about 3 months. And she's right, that's about it. And then I have the dreadful buyer's remorse. And it leads into, I buy a bunch of stuff, I run my credit card up to the max, and then I have to pay it off. And then it just is hyper everything. You hyper spend, you hyper eat, hyper everything.
You know, sitting here listening to that story, most people don't have a clue about those behaviors and what they could mean for a person. In that regard, I take it you've probably also experienced stigma.
Oh yes, I've been stigmatized for a long time. People thinking I'm not worthy of love or respect, and it's just hurtful and it needs to stop.
So you make a good point. Stigma can be so hurtful, especially when people are seeing behaviors that they're not accustomed to. But that's not for all behaviors, I assume. What about other things in your life that someone would think is manic, but yet it's just you being you?
Yes, I have a perfect example of that. Once I went to the doctor's office and dressed up as Cindy Lou Who, and I passed this gentleman and he shrugged his shoulder and you could see his body shaking because he's laughing. And I hollered at him, I said, "It's okay, I'm a psych patient." And he just laughed more and his shoulders just went crazy.
That is great. You have such joy in your life, but at the same token, you also experience some very dark times with this condition. Can you tell us about that?
And yes, the opposite is true when I'm depressed. I get really depressed and sad, and I feel like an underachiever and I can't do a single thing right, and it's really horrific.
So Tammie, then, what would you like more people to understand?
I want people to know that people with this illness are worthy of love. Marriages are often destroyed over mental illness, and it's just unjust and hurtful.
So what I've learned today in talking with you, Tammie, is that stigma can create a tremendous amount of misunderstanding, hurtfulness, damage, a lot of it just because people don't understand what's going on. But yet in the same vein, there's an underlying hope that this condition, this disease that people are struggling with can come out in the open and become a mainstream discussion just like any other part of our life, right? So here is where I think I've got one final question for you. Tammie, what message do you want to leave with everyone watching?
Don't give up on people like me. We are bold, brave, and we want to be looked at that way. I say if I should go out early, put me in center field and have a slam dunk from there and let me do a wipeout and a victory run.
Tammie, thank you. You've inspired us with your humor, your strength, and your truth. Everyone watching, let's work together to end the stigma. And remember, don't expect normal from Tammie. It's never going to happen.
Fight the stigma.